You ever see a joke backfire so hard it flips the room upside down? That's what happened the morning Elena Vaughn walked into that VA facility, just a regular day, right up until she handed over a plastic ID so old it looked like a prop from a Cold War movie, and two rookie guards decided to make it the punchline. They had no clue. She didn't blink. That card gets scanned, you'll wish it hadn't. And you know what? She wasn't kidding. That card lit up more than just a scanner. It lit up buried secrets, and before anyone could say sorry, ma'am, the whole place locked down like a bunker. I can still picture it. Early autumn, that weird quiet before the heat sun, barely up parking lot, half-empty beige walls radiating that sleepy hospital energy. Elena steps out of her truck, the kind of woman you notice and can't quite place. Silver braid boots with history, the kind of limp you get from years of surviving things you never brag about. One hand a wallet, worn thin, the other an envelope marked in faded ink, Echo 0, eyes only. She walked like someone who'd outweighted artillery. She goes in the lobby, barely awake. Old country song playing from a radio, two guards at the checkpoint. Kids really not old enough to hide how bored they are. O'Connell is the mouthy one. Kinley's got that glazed look. They start riffing. You sure this isn't from a time capsule? Elena doesn't rise to it. She just puts the envelope and the card on the counter. The scanner doesn't want to read it, beeps out some error, and the kids laugh like they've won a prize. But then one more swipe, maybe out of boredom, maybe out of pride, and the system locks. Sirens lights, the emblem glows gold on the screen. Silence, total and perfect. Now the real tension starts. You could feel the air change, everyone frozen. Receptionist slipping away from her desk, janitor standing dead still, even the damn coffee cooling in midair. I swear you could hear Elena breathe, that's how sharp the quiet got. The guards step back, not so cocky now. A voice crackles over the loudspeaker security command, no longer routine. Someone's on a red phone, hands shaking, calling it an alpha trigger. This is not a drill. Sergeant Devin Rock shows up next, looking every inch the guy who could turn a riot into a parade. Tries to get a handle, asks Elena to step aside. She just says, I've already been verified. You're just catching up. You could have heard a pin drop. Security glass goes dark. Doors start slamming. An escort team comes in, military police, but not here to arrest, just to walk beside her like she's a general. And maybe she is. They don't touch her, don't direct her. Just flank her with that strange mix of fear and respect. They take her upstairs, command center's all glass, all eyes on her. Colonel Marina Keene is already on her way. No-nonsense presence like a winter storm. She sees Elena, and the recognition hits old history on her face. They sit alone, folder between them. More redactions than words. Echo 0. Reactivated. You ever see someone realize they're standing on a landmine? That was the room. They talk quiet and fast. Keene wants to know if Elena planned this. It was time, Elena says. Some clearances shouldn't expire just because memory does. I gotta admit, I felt a chill. The kind of chill you get when you realize the world's bigger, darker, and more layered than you ever guessed. Pretty soon the feds arrive. DC plates, mirrored sunglasses, one guy with a briefcase cuffed to his wrist. We'll be taking her for debrief. Colonel Keene isn't having it. She's not a subject, she's a former operative with active legacy clearance. You report to her. The suits don't like it, but they know better than to argue with the building's new reality. They look at the envelope, faces blanch. This is live. You're never prepared, Elena says, and the words hang in the air, heavy as lead. Meanwhile, in the basement, an engineer's pulled from near retirement to dig up old backup servers. Footage from an old Black Ops mission appears Elena, years younger, calling shots over gunfire. Echo 0, mark all hostiles. And suddenly, everyone from the Pentagon to Langley is up late. Files, marked dormant, lighting up generals, whispering over secure lines. Does she still have operational value? Nobody says it out loud, but you can feel the machine waking up the old machine, the one people tried to forget. Back at the VA, Elena visits a memorial wall, hundreds of names, one of them, Devin Rock's uncle. You knew him? Bagram, 2006. Devin's quiet a moment, then asks, "Why now?" Elena's answer is barely a whisper. Forgetting has a cost. Some debts are long overdue. That's the moment you get it. It's not just about secrets, it's about memory, about what you do when the world wants to forget what made it safe. Phase 2 kicks in an envelope, a boarding pass to DC, a black lanyard, a note. Phase 2 begins. You still have time to say no. She doesn't. At the new facility, Site Gray, Elena's escorted by an agent with that unmistakable military posture. No rank, no flag, only the golden triangle echoes emblem on her uniform. She meets the council 5 figures behind glass. Are you willing to serve again? Elena doesn't answer the way they want. That's the wrong question. Are you ready for what I remember? And let me tell you, that answer cuts sharper than any yes or no. Old threats awaken, forgotten experiments, legacy programs, all the ghosts the government thought they'd buried. Elena leads a team into a dead facility, Delta 9 booting up systems untouched for a decade. When the AI wakes, the emblem glows red. Old logs pour in, and 6 vaults labeled with code names, Ghost Links, Vector, Caliber, Atlas, Warden, light up. Not cryopods, not bodies, legacies, tools, memories. Tools. Back at the Pentagon, panic is brewing. She's reanimating systems people swore they'd killed. But Elena keeps moving her team raids. Black Sites follows threads to the root of Project Scion, a shadow operation run by a director named Ward, who's not half as dead as the files say. The final confrontation, Langley buried tunnels biometrics that still recognize Elena after all these years. She walks straight into Ward's office. He tries to warn her, tries to bargain, but Elena just plays the dry video evidence of illegal experiments, chaos for hire, the kind of files that change history when they leak. Ward says, "You can't bring Echo back." Elena's reply, "I'm not bringing it back. I'm rewriting it." And she walks out. No bullets, no explosions, just a legacy ending and a new one beginning. It doesn't stop there. The files hold a map hidden in the audio. It leads her to Antarctica, a black site called Frostmark, where the true architect of Scion, Maris Vex, waits with her own frozen army. Elena faces a choice: release or purge the past. She chooses purge cryopods, dissolve Vex, nods. That was the right choice, but Elena's not so sure. Scion sends a kill team gunfire in the snow. Ash sacrifices herself to detonate the vault. Elena and the others barely escape. Weeks later, the world reels from the fallout, arrests resignations, but Echo Zero survives in the shadows. Elena, now in Iceland, watches as new anomalies crop up, old threats, new faces, Phase 4 beginning. The team's ready. Elena unlocks a new file project, Stiletto, a war of perception, not bullets. The story ends, or maybe just pauses, with Elena watching a new dawn break the emblem whole again. No name, just a word. Listen. So tell me, were you holding your breath when that emblem lit up? Did your heart skip when Ash sealed the blast doors, or when Elena stared down Ward in that office? Did you realize, like me, that sometimes it's not about the people who fight for glory, it's about the ones who walk away from it carrying the weight for all of us? If you did, you're one of us now. Where were you when the story turned? Drop your thoughts below. Because this echo, it never really stops. It just waits for the next person to listen.